Okay, so we started to adjust a lot of our CSS and a lot of our other areas using different classes or IDs, different background colors, changing the fonts and things like that. Now we're down to our article. Remember we made an article div tag, put an H1, H2, H1, H2, and some paragraph text in there. And remember that article we put into a section, so there's a section behind that article. What we can do with this, well, that article is a little hard to read. If I have paragraphs of text that's going all the way across your window, it's a little hard to read. So what we can do is go to that article rule, give it a hashtag, give it an ID, # or hashtag, pairing, article, whatever you want to call it. Enter. It's going to my business CSS sheet. Good. Now I come over here to my CSS designer panel. I'm on my biz CSS sheet. There's my pairing article. And I can make some rules for this. Number one, it's going to be too wide, going all the way across there. So what I can do is go to the layout, go to max width of, let's say, actually let's do the width. Let's just change the width to percentage. And let's say 75%. Okay, that's good. But it looks pretty good, but still, if I get into a real wide computer or a real wide screen or window size, it could still be too wide. So what I can also stipulate is a max width in pixels. So I can say maybe I don't want it to be any more than 800 pixels wide. So that's always going to be legible, no matter what size you go into. Now, it can also, well, maybe instead of 75, I'm going to change this to 80%. That sounds good. With a max width. And what we can also do is, if this paragraph text is going to be a lot of empty space here, in this article, it's going to be a lot of empty space to the right. So what I can do with that article rule, which I made, pairing article, for the margins, I can say 0 on the top, auto on the right, and auto on the left. I want there to be a little more room on top, and I can put more on top if I want. Maybe 50 and 50. Maybe more, maybe 60. That look a little better. So it gives you plenty of space. Now I could put a background color on my article, or a background image, but then there'll still be a lot of white space here on the side, so that's why I put it in that extra, we put the article in that section. So what I can do now is make a new rule for the section, make it an ID, pairing section, it's my pairing article, and it's going to be, say, that my biz CSS. So biz CSS, pairing section. I'm going to do a background image in there. One of my prepared background images. There we are. Okay. And then what I can do also, put some padding on that. So maybe I want to move that article down a little. So I'll do some padding. Actually, I should put that on the pairing article itself. Some padding on that. There it goes. Top and bottom. Looks good. Now with that pairing section, that background image, I can switch it to cover for the size and switch it to fixed. Now let me come back to that pairing article, which is this little section in there, and obviously I need to change the text color. Good. And I could do text shadow. Make it a little easier to read. And if I want to change any of these, so I'm going to change to H1, pairing article, add a selector, pairing article, Pairing section, pairing article H1. Good. And I can change that font family to that decorative one I had. It's good. Now if it's a little too hard to read, I could make the text bigger or make the background darker. I think I'm going to make this paragraph text a little bit bigger. Add a rule for my pairing article paragraph text. Enter text size. And let's, what if I made it large? There you go, it's a little easier to read. So you can see how I can adjust articles and section. Down here I had just another section, and I can type something out with that. I can delete the text there, go back to the section, insert HTML. I'm going to do heading 2 for this guy. I'll nest it inside that section. And this one I'll just do a little message. Okay, good. Now I can go back to, that's just a generic section I'm in. Section div. What I can do is make hashtag for that. This will be my little goodbye section here. Go into my biz CSS, sounds good. Go to look at that CSS rule I just made, goodbye. Text, I can line that centered. Change the font size, that's the only text I'm going to have in there. I think I make a little bit, I'm going to go by points. I think I'm going to do 50 points. Maybe a little bigger than that. Doesn't want to seem to change, so I'll do that manually here in a second. So I center the text. I'll go ahead and make a rule just for this H2 here. Add a selector. So it's my goodbye H2. Now when I change the font size, it should change. Points. There it goes. I also change the font family. And maybe the font color. I think I'll stick with that red like I've had before. Well, I also do the box or text shadow. There we are. My footer, I'm just going to make a generic footer rule. And I'm just going to center the text for that guy. Save all. And, it's pretty close to done. There's other changes I could do. Let's see if it'll let me preview this. Just so it doesn't lock up, I'm going to close this down. And preview it through here. There we are. So I have my navigation bar up here. I could do quite a few more changes on there if I want a navigation bar. I have my slider. I may make a black background for the slider also. in all my different sections, so they're looking pretty good. Once I get my links in, then these buttons will work. And there's my article, so it looks pretty good there. And you can resize everything. Do that stack. Slider, and all the different sections. Totally responsive.